Hello, my name is P.T. Hylton, and I'm here to talk to you about my to-be-read list for the Spooky Reads Challenge in October. So I'm part of a book reads group called the Booktube Reading Buddies, which isn't that just the sweetest name? I feel like I should write a little jingle about that group. I just want to give that group a hug. That's a nice sounding name. But anyway, in October they've got a Spooky Reads Challenge going on where they've got something like 24 spooky reads to choose from, and throughout the month they have different challenges related to those books and can read as many of them as you want, as many of them as you can. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the ones that I'm going to be reading from that list. I made a trip down to the local library today and picked up Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. I've read one book by Dan Simmons, and it wasn't my favorite, to be honest with you, but this is like a coming-of-age horror novel, which that's in my wheelhouse. That's like my favorite subgenre, if that could be called a subgenre. Cool cover, although I will say this super dark font on a dark background probably would not fly in today's world of looking at little tiny thumbnails of book covers on book buying sites on the internet. Looking forward to that one. Next up, in audio form, I shall be reading Geek Love by Katherine Dunn. This is the one I'm kind of the most worried about, just because I think the subject matter is pretty disturbing to me personally, so it'll be interesting. I think this one might scare me a little bit. Then, on Oyster digitally here, I will be reading Robert W. Chambers' The King in Yellow. I don't know a lot about it, except that I watched True Detective, and they talked about the Yellow King on that. But it does say in the cover, a quote from H.P. Lovecraft himself, achieves notable heights of cosmic fear. Notable heights. High praise there, H.P. Lovecraft. Finally, I've got Salem's Lot by Stephen King. And this is when I give my my shameful confession, internet, because I did a blog post about 6 months ago where I talked about my favorite small towns with a secret. My favorite books about a small town with a secret. And Salem's Lot was on that list. And a little bit after I made that list, I started thinking about it. And it's like, why, when I think about Salem's List, do I have such clear images in my head? And I realized it's because I've seen the miniseries but never actually read the book. So I kind of lied in that post. Sorry about that. However, I'm going to finally tackle it and make things right with Salem's Lot. I have this really old edition here, which is cool. It's not like a true first edition. Those are worth a lot of money. This is, I think it was like a book club edition, but a very early edition. Here's how early in Stephen King's career this was. Is the biography on the back flap of Stephen King. Stephen King grew up in Maine and has lived most of his adult life there, both in Bangor and in the Portland area that is the setting for Salem's. He and his wife Tabitha have 3 children, Naomi, Joe, and Owen. He is currently at work on a new novel. You know, when they put in, he's currently at work on a new novel, that means they're like sitting around being like, what could we possibly say about this guy? He has not got a lot going on. Could say he's at work on a new novel, I guess. Clearly they did not have a lot to say about Stephen King at the time, but here it is. Stephen King, who introduced you to Carrie, returns with Salem's Lot. Very excited about this book. Obviously, I've heard lots of good things about this, and I have enjoyed Stephen King's other earlier works like The Shining and Carrie, so looking forward to that. Those are the 4 books I'm going to be doing for the Spooky Reads Challenge. Maybe I'll get to more. I don't know. I was thinking about doing Nosferatu by Joe Hill, which was one of my favorite books of the last couple years, but I did just read it fairly recently, so I don't know if I'm ready for a reread on that yet. There's also a couple books that aren't on the Spooky Reads list that I'm going to be tackling this month. I'm partway through The Lives of Tao by Wesley Chu, and then I also really want to read Demon Frenzy by Harvey Click, which is not on the Spooky Reads list, but is spooky, so fits the theme. So I'll probably be back with more updates on my Spooky Reads throughout the month. That's going to do it for me this time. My name is P.T. Hylton again. Don't forget to subscribe below. I will talk to you later, and have a great day.